Growing up, something I was eating was causing me issues. Pediatricians blamed the usual suspects: dairy, eggs, tomato, nuts. But eliminating these culprits didn't help, and I had to live with the symptoms. I remember in high school, I showing off to a group of girls, one of them which I had a crush on. And I told them that my skin was like a notepad. They scratched designs into my arm, which then in turn inflamed and revealed their clever teenage messages. Well, Angie drew a heart shape, and my freak show was a success. She liked me too. But what I realized now was that was a symptom of an ongoing severe allergic reaction to gluten. Going gluten-free should be considered a necessary change. We have been hustled and exploited by big money food manufacturers trying to turn a buck at the cost of our well-being. Gluten is a protein found in such grains like wheat, barley, and rye. Wheat, right? The staff of life. Genetically modified, exploited, and unnecessarily put into our processed food. And that's no accident. Did you know 1% of the US population has been diagnosed with celiac disease? The most severe stage of gluten intolerance. That means at least 3 million Americans are celiac. And according to celiaccentral.org, the chances of you or someone you know being gluten intolerant is 1 in 133. And that number is increasing as awareness rises. Do you know when you're eating gluten? Read the ingredient labels with the million-dollar scientific names. And I almost guarantee that one of the ingredients will be a derivative of gluten. And that is no accident. How do you feel when you're done eating? Are you sluggish? Do you feel like a headache or a stomach bothering you? Fog? If you want to improve your physical and mental health, stabilize your moods and cravings, and free yourself from the big machine known as our food industry, then go gluten-free. Gluten is an opiate. We call it comfort food. Just think about quitting, and you'll find yourself sounding like an addict. I can stop if I wanna. I'll quit tomorrow. Sure you will. Dr. Alessio Fonsano, director of the University of Maryland for Celiac Center Research, says the wheat we eat has 3 times more gluten than the wheat that our grandparents ate. And that's all thanks to the genetic roulette game that took place in the early 1960s, when biogeneticists created a Frankengrain, as described by cardiologist Dr. William Davis in his book Wheat Belly. And while doing so, they came across a protein called gliadin, which is an addictive appetite stimulant. And that is now put into all processed foods that we eat. And it causes you to consume 440 more calories on a daily basis. Mood swings are common, right? Everyone gets them. So what? Everybody has a bad day. That couldn't have anything to do with gluten addiction, could it? Research observed an association between celiac disease and depression as early as 1982, when researchers Harlett and Ostrom reported they found depressive symptoms in patients recently diagnosed with celiac. The research concluded that the depressive symptoms were related to celiac disease due to malabsorption. John Barifa from signsofthetimes.net has done some amazing research on gluten and autism and has found that with a gluten-free diet, some of the more debilitating symptoms of autism are relieved. Amazing. Do you ever find yourself having uncontrollable food cravings? Gluten indulgence contributes to obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and osteoporosis. According to Dr. Davis, gluten-free is the only way to be. What do you eat late at night? I bet it's not salad or carrot sticks. Because according to the Business Insider, gluten-saturated snacks are America's favorite, with Ritz Cracker being #1, and McDonald's being our #1 fast food choice. The only thing more processed than those two things would be Cheese Whiz. Take a trip down your local supermarket aisle, and you'll see that gluten is in everything, from tomato soup to licorice. That's no accident. It is done so that you buy more, consume more, and the food industry makes more. Don't let gluten be your demise. Just because it was once a simple protein in a grain that nourished our civilization doesn't mean that it still is. Times change, people change, and so can the food that we eat. Gluten causes health problems, mental problems, and detracts from our overall quality of life. It has been linked to autism, and it is added to our food in addictive quantities. Going gluten-free should be considered a necessary change. We have been hustled and exploited by big money food manufacturers trying to turn a buck at the cost of our health and well-being. Going gluten-free is a choice that you will have to make for yourself. When and why will also be up to you. When you do, you will notice the difference, and you will tell everyone you meet, don't eat gluten.